on the charger. It's a new day here. I am working on the rear lights of the car, kind of where I left off in the last segment. But a little tip: when you're trying to wrap your harness, but you have breakouts. This is what I call them, breakouts. I have my own little language for just about everything. But when you have, basically what I want to do is pull this all back out and wrap it up after I've run the wires, and I'm just not even, I'm putting these plugs in just lightly so they kind of stay put where they're at. But when you have a breakout, which is what I do for this reverse light here, this light green wire, I put a little piece of tape on. Basically I'm attaching it to the right turn signal wire, which is the dark green here, just to kind of remind me of where I need to basically not wrap this guy in the harness. I'm going to let it break out of the wire and go through this grommet right here, so hopefully that makes sense. But I'm on to the right side now, and I've run these guys over here back behind this trunk support bracket using these little factory tabs to kind of keep the wires secure in their place. And so the right turn is going to be, it's going to come out in the same spot here as I did over on the left side. And again, I want to have these all kind of look about the same, even though there's a cover going over it. That's just how I do things, I guess. A little OCD bleeding through there, but it's better to have it long than too short. So strip that back. And now, because I got to jump it again, I got to use another piece of this right turn signal wire. And the reason I'm going into this detail is I want to give you guys the confidence that, and I have gotten so much confidence from watching shows like this one, but much better, and by people showing me the details. I have learned so much, even though it's boring to some, or some people that already know how to do this stuff might be boring to them, but you know, for those who are looking to do this stuff and they want to know how to do everything, this is for you. Got the copper mashed down. And yes, some of it is repetitive, and that's okay. Alright. Make sure it's clipped still. And then I'm going to line up my 3-way, so I'm using a 3-way plug on this guy and this guy because we have running lights and turn signals and a ground. So just again put them in, make sure the shark tooth is up so you can have this attached to it and have it go in the right way. And going in the left side here, have this attached to it and have it go in the right way. And going in the left side here, what is going on here? What is the deal here? Okay. There we go. That's the click. And then I'm jumping out of this guy, going to this guy. Make sure I'm doing the same thing. I thought there was another clip, it's not. There's that. And it's going to go back through. Hang another 3 connector. Thought I had them all. There it is. Got it. So again, another 3-way. Put this guy on so it doesn't get lost. Yeah, it's all about the length of wires here. If you want a uniform look, so you're really just trying to achieve that same length. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, use it at your discretion. Or do as perfect of a job as you're okay with. That's all that matters. Yeah, so it doesn't jump out, so I'm using a single wire terminal. And fold that guy over. That guy. Same thing as the doubles, just one less. And again, this doesn't jump out, it just goes in. That's the click. Okay, so now got our guy here. So now it's time to do the running lights. Just gonna use a single, let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna use a two port connector with a double wire fitting, I guess you could say. Put this guy back, and it's gonna be right about there. Oh, hey, I can sit down. Using XS. And we're going to put them together. If you screw up, you can always just remove it and go back. So now we've got this guy. Put it behind the connector so it stays tidy. And I'm running it adjacent to the green wire, so it's got to be the same length. About strip the other guy. Yeah, because we're jumping again. For those who are paying attention, we're jumping all of the running lights to all three lights on both sides. Oh. You guys still awake? Hopefully you guys are. Wiring is not everyone's favorite, but take it from me, if I can do this, you guys can do it too. It's especially rewarding when it works. Let me tell you. Yeah, I used to hate these little connectors, but I've kind of grown to like them. I get what they're about. I think when you don't understand them, they're annoying. But they must be good. Into the next. Go into that running light side. Get the barb in the right position. Click. Unfortunately, you have to kind of disconnect these plugs in order to get a good positive click. Again, mirror the length of this running light wire with my furthest right turn signal, just so it kind of looks decent. Doesn't have to be exact, but close is always preferred. And you don't have to jump out, so we're going to use a single connector on this one. Single wire, of course. And luckily, American Auto Wire gives you plenty of extra connectors. I have a surplus of these from previous kits I've done. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, we're not done yet, so don't get too excited. Still got to run the ground wires. Grounds are going to be untraditional for this application. Typically they are run through the ground through the housing, through the body, but the way American Auto Wire has it here is they have a separate ground, or a ground wire that goes down to the body. It's probably a more reliable ground. I did use factory fittings, or I'm sorry, factory nuts on these housing studs here, which have teeth on the washers that are affixed to the nuts, which grind into the metal, causing them to be a good ground, but something tells me American Auto Wire didn't find that reliable. So they are basically setting us up here on this kit to land a ground wire, and I'm going to do one per side because they gave us a whole lot of extra ground wire here, which is really nice. Has ring terminals already on it, which makes it really easy. So I'm gonna grab a drill bit, and I think what I'm gonna do, I don't like seeing this, or I don't want to see the ground wire, but I have to have them. So I think what I'm gonna do is go in to the side of this bumper support here. As much as it pains me to drill holes in this stuff, I'm gonna just go into here and land that there. So give me a sec, grab a drill bit and something to scrape the paint off. Alright, so I got a confession to make. I'm not a big self-tapper guy. I don't like those. I use them when I do sheet metal, but aside from that, I'm just not into it. And it's just hacky-ish. Doesn't mean it's wrong, it just means this isn't that car, I guess you could say. But so what I'm gonna do here, instead of using self-tappers to the sheet metal, I clean these posts off really good with the wire wheel right before I put the tail lights on. So I'm going to use these posts, which are obviously welded to the tail panel, and make sure, hopefully they work, but that is what I'm going to do. And I wanted to do it on this guy because it's closest to this little tab that holds everything in. So, and of course they're out of sight for the most part. There's that one. I just think this is a cleaner way to go about it. Whenever you drill a hole, it just ends up getting be a water trap or starts to rust. So, and the whole car was pretty much rusted when I bought it, so I did a lot of work to achieve where it's at today. So I'm gonna forego the self-tappers. Now that I have both rounds landed, now I need to jump from one to another. Alright, so I got the wiring all taped up. Kind of happy with the way it came out. And I guess that's all that matters. Try to block the camera. So I've got my gas gauge pigtail. I thought I had it. Oh, here it is. This guy here. I cut it way back, and the wire is coming through the floor grommet. But I wanted to show you guys these connectors. These connectors are actually pretty cool. So they are solder connectors, and they're it's like a heat shrink piece of tubing. You don't have to crimp them. And that little ring of solder actually melts the wires together, which is pretty cool. So you basically just pass them through each end, kind of like that. And then this guy goes in the other side, obviously, to pass by the other one. And it shrinks 2 to 1, which is pretty impressive. I'm used to heat shrink that does that, but what I don't have on my heat gun is a battery or a reflector on it. So it's always kind of sketchy doing these until I have that. But the old tried and true corded heat gun got me through a lot. See if this will work. I'm a little nervous about these things because I haven't done a lot of wiring with them, and I hate to get through the whole car and then find out that these don't work very well, but I'm sure that's not the case. It's me and Sean. I'm sure it's fine. Point that the gas tanks are supposed to be, or I'm sorry, the fuel sending unit is supposed to ground through the gas tank. This gas tank looks like it's powder coated to me, and obviously the sending part is zinc coated, so that's fine. But the straps are supposed to ground the tank to the frame of the car, which is obviously sheet metal, but the straps appear to be powder coated. That is definitely not bare metal, and these came like that. So I am a little concerned about the grounding of this sending unit. There's no provision for a ground, so I may have to, if it doesn't ground, I may have to just put a hole in this flange here and run a wire to the frame as a kind of a secondary ground. In fact, yeah, I think I'm going to do that right now, just to get it out of the way. I'm trying to work my way forward of the car, so I don't have to worry about it. So let me get some stuff together, and I'll share with you what I'm going to do, just in case this doesn't work. All right, it's a new day. Still working on this car, but I had to show you guys. I couldn't handle the exposed wires on the taillights, so I came out here last night and wrapped them up. It's just a better look for me, in my opinion. But you know, in all reality, this gets in a plastic black cover that goes over all 6 of these lights, so it's not that big of a deal. I mounted my trunk dome light in there. Hopefully you can see it up there. That's stock location, which is kind of odd. I was compelled to put it in the middle, but I just went ahead and put it right back where it was. So, all right, so I'm on to other things now. So got my bulkhead fitting bolted down, and then I attached these outer ones, the outer fittings, but I realized there's some wires here that I have to de-pin that I'm not going to be using. For instance, the oil pressure and water temp sender lines. I'm not going to use those because I've already got those for the Retrotech Dakota Digital system. Comes with those. They're like twisted pairs with the drain. So those guys are covered, and then this yellow wire right here is unmarked, so I got to look that up on the schematic, and this brown guy also is unmarked, so I got to look that up. But I want to de-pin these guys before I get too far with these. In fact, I'm kind of debating on, there's an electric fan wire here. I'm gonna run mechanical fans, but kind of debating on whether or not to leave this in the car in case I decide to do electric fans. I just don't see it happening. I can always add this back, so I'll just do that, and then I gotta figure out where the horn is locates in the car. I want to say it's over there on the passenger side, right down there, but me not being a Dodge Chrysler expert, I'll have to look that up. But this is all pretty normal stuff as far as, you know, wiring your engine bay. I gotta just do the prep, do the work, and it'll come out cleaner than it was. So not factory, but it is all new wiring, and I'm okay with that. So I'm all about not using 55-year-old wire on my newly restored car. So sorry, Mopar purists, this just isn't that. And yeah, so all right guys, I'm gonna struggle a little more off camera, and then I will be back to the new episode. But I wanted to thank you guys all for watching our little tiny channel, and we're gonna keep pushing on this car until it runs, which isn't far off, by the way. Wiring always for me is last, so but you will see every step of the way. Hopefully you like that sort of thing. That's what we're about, giving you the detail. And just let us know if you want to see something different. I do wonder if you guys want to see these longer videos, or if you like the shorter ones. Nothing about building cars is a short story, unfortunately, so we can always segment everything up a little bit more. But you know, I personally like to sit down and watch YouTube as like I would be watching TV, but that's me, and I'm old. So anyway, give us some comments, let us know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.